Welcome everybody to another race of the ALTTPR Spoiler Log Tournament Season 2. I'm Sinak, and I am joined by Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just anticipating the best out of this wonderful spoiler log tournament.
So, we've got ourselves a race here between Cheamo and Tabbycat54. They've been studying the log for about 15 minutes now, and they should be getting going here any second.
I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how both these runners will do. I know that both of them were in the last tournament, the fall tournament, and during the... Whoop, there we go. Okay, well, we're skipping Sanctuary Chest, so obviously nothing good there. Oh my god, this is an awesome MSU pack.
So Tabbycat is going down the... Looks like he's going to be doing a Houlihan. There must be something at Zora or something that's necessary to have a lot of rupees for.
That's actually a good plan in most cases. I've noticed, especially with some of the practice stuff I've done, if you need something off of Zora and there aren't 300s readily available, like right there, it's kind of annoying to get them. Now, as I was saying earlier there, I've seen that both these guys did pretty well in the fall tournament, and during the, what was it, that portion with the spoiler co-op, Tabbycat did phenomenally well, leading her team to victory both games that week. So I'm really curious to see how she does doing her own spoiler.
Yeah, and those are super convenient boots.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Sonic the Hedgehog is God's namesake here.
Gotta go fast. I mean, this is a speed run. What's the point of not going fast in a speed run, right? Alright, so we got ourselves some armor, we got ourselves some boots, and we got ourselves some money. And there's our hammer. Very interesting.
So, in a spoiler race, you have to balance your safeties with what... So you have to balance your safeties with time. So you're going to want to only grab what you think is absolutely necessary to beat the seed. You don't want to grab any more items than what you want, because otherwise you'll be wasting time. But if you don't do enough, then you'll die a lot, which can happen a lot in this mode as well. And that also, costs time. So it's kind of like a trade-off here. In this case, that blue mail effectively doubles your health pool, at least generally. So it's always pretty good shot to get.
I was going to ask that, actually. What would you say is more of a time sink? Dying because you didn't get the safety? Or just going out of the way for the safety?
Depends on where you die at. Like, a cold stare death is punishing. That's like easily a 2 or 3 minutes down the window. Or down the drain, right? So, if your safety costs just a few seconds... or it's kind of along the way, but not really, it could be worth it. You really have to get a feel for it based on your level of comfort as a player. With like a low percent setting. So like a good benchmark might be to play a seed where you've set like the item pool and item functionality settings like expert and see where you're dying a lot at. That can that can be a good way of figuring out where your sweet spot is at. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and the players are just gonna go ahead and run over each other's checks, basically. Not wanting to go for a bomb, has to be careful, doesn't want to die here.
That is the joy of having that red potion readily available.
Yeah, just bomb him. There you go. Beautiful.
When in doubt, blow things up.
And he's going to go ahead and get the fire rod and the gloves that are sitting here, along with pretty about everything else as well. Some players, when they route these, they either want to be more surgical, so they'll only grab exactly what they need, and they'll remember what they need to grab in a particular area. Some others, they'll be like, I just need to clear out mini Moldorm Cave, and then that's the extent of it. There's one has less mental, takes less thought to go through, which means you can dedicate your thinking to other things, right? Tabby's also going for that safety. It's a good call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like what one of our people in chat pointed out there. Blue mail's almost always worth picking up. Now, one thing I've noticed over a lot of different spoiler races over the last few weeks, especially leading up to this one, I've seen that a lot of racers will actually do pretty much the same thing. There's a bit of diversity between these two guys. Why do you think that is?
Sometimes I guess it's probably just different ways of handling the same situation. Like I said, there's already been like marked differences in how cheamo basically deals with checks versus Tabby, where chemo's is kind of just grabbing everything in the area, whereas Tabby's being a little bit more surgical about it. So that could translate into other things.
There is something pretty intriguing here that I'm seeing, though. Chemo grabbed the 300 rupees out of the well, but Tabbycat didn't. I don't think there's actually going to be anything decent on Zora, or if there is, it's not needed until much later.
Man, this is an awfully early mushroom powder check here.
Ho ho ho, and that is why early flute is going to make traverse so much easier.
So I'll just say that avoided quite a fetch quest. So if our runners wouldn't have done that, they would have had to get the powder off of Ether Tablet. And our Book of Medora was somewhere buried.
Yeah, I didn't bother reading over the full log because I've got other things tonight that will probably screw around my mind if I think too much. But
That was a really heads-up play using that fake powder to sequence break the flute.
definitely a good thing. Not only does this give them logical access to the mountain, again, this makes traversing Hyrule so much easier.
Tabby is gonna probably snag these 300.
Ah, okay.
Probably grab everything else in here. There's also some other merits to grabbing everything else, or close to everything else. It's just more safeties, right? You can come across like some heart pieces. Those add up. And having maybe an extra couple of heart containers can mean the difference between dying and not dying. By the way, there's that hook shot.
Oh goodness, we've had two major required items.
that mushroom really paying off here. Like that mushroom is doing double duty this seed.
I can't tell if that's an evil mushroom or a good mushroom.
I'm gonna go for the good side here.
There we go. Alright, so I think Tabby's gonna go ahead and check out that pearl in the bonk rocks that we saw earlier. Cheamo, on the other hand, is showing us what happens if you don't hookshot immediately. You take a fall.
It's not that big of a deal. See, like you're under a lot of stress in these races, right? So you're going to run. You're going to run into a situation where you're going to make a mistake, and that's cool, right? It happens.
Exactly. It's like what you were saying earlier, where basically most runners will either lose time trying to get certain items to help them along the way, or just lose time dying because they didn't get those items along the way.
Yeah,
It's inevitable.
it's really being able to judge your skill versus, yeah, it's basically being able to judge your own skill, right? In this case, grabbing a sword out of Paradox Cave and getting out of there. Also
That is
finding mitts.
intriguing.
Yeah, those mitts are pretty nice.
I'm guessing that means there's nothing over in Super Bunny Cave or Hookshot Cave that we need right now. Because I'm guessing Cheamo would have immediately gone over there if there was.
In this case, yeah, we'll have to see what Tabby decides to do when she makes her way over that way. Tabby getting the hook shot. Done a couple other things first. These runners are fairly neck and neck right now. There's really not a whole lot of difference between them, it feels like.
That's one reason why I'm so intrigued over spoiler in general. Because since you have all that information and you know how to plot your course, it really is down to just how well you play this game.
Yeah, so Cheamo picking up 2 swords here. Tabby is going to be doing the same, grabbing 2 swords. Looks like she's going to be putting off those mitts until later.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that would imply, honestly. Like, I haven't looked that too deeply, but it was kind of nice though. This cave had some decent stuff in it.
Well, let's see. We've got the fire rod in place, so we can take care of our wonderful Mothula. We can also do all of Thieves Town too, so as long as there's nothing else in this area that we need to do, this would be a really good time to do a 1-2 punch.
So, Tabby is going back over to Kakariko. And we're going to go ahead and see what is in Thieves Town.
Well, looks like there was a little bit of safety at first. Finding those boss heart containers is always wonderful. And there's something in this chest here. Ooh, a safety. Now, why do you think it is that most of these guys would go ahead and go out of their way? Well, I wouldn't say it's really out of the way. Why pick up the cape or the cane of Burna if there's no item necessary for it, like nothing in Spy Cave or Bumper Ledge?
Well, Cape and just in general can be pretty nice utility. Especially if you can't get your hands on silvers for Vitreous. Cape dash strats through Biddy's eyeballs can be a pretty quick way to deal with the boss versus having to do a more traditional NMG strat of doing tempered spins into the eyeballs by deboosting off of the slime. So that might be why. It's just a nice thing to have. Feels comfy. Personally, I think it's pretty stylish.
Smart idea, then. Because I've run into situations myself where those vidis are just pain in the butt to deal with. So yeah, cape would be an excellent strategy instead of just going out of your way to find either another armor upgrade or more hearts.
Cheamo has the attic bombed. I think it's like one of those situations where like Thieves Town is a crystal anyway. Might as well get it done. Knock it out of the way. I don't even recall if there was anything in here the players needed, except maybe that cape.
Well, we had the big heart in one of the first ones, the cape in the second one. Cheamo passed up the attic one, so yeah, unless we got something down here in Blind Cell, I think that's it. Oh, he picked up that small key, so yeah. I think there's going to be something in the big chest. It's not Titan Smith, sadly, so not going to be vanilla. Oh, no, never mind. He's maybe muscle memory? That brings up another question. How do you deal with muscle memory in spoiler?
Very carefully.
I can definitely say for certain that most rando players that don't play a whole lot of spoiler will probably 9 times out of 10 do that. They'll go ahead and pull a chest and be like, oh wait, didn't need to do that. Oh, and one thing too, after we've seen Cheamo take care of his wonderful boss here, getting the first crystal, got a question for you, Cynic. How do you memorize the actual names of all these chests for the spoiler logs?
Practice. It can be kind of tricky, right? Just so one thing that could be really helpful is so one thing that can be pretty helpful is if you're having trouble, there's actually on the main randomizer Discord in the training room channel, there is a spreadsheet created by IHNN, or I have no name. I have no name put together a really nice spreadsheet that has images of all of the chest locations, all 216 of them, and what their names in the spoiler log are. That could be a very great reference. And if you combine that with maybe doing a run where you're playing it like really slowly and you go to each chest location and you remember, like you say out loud to yourself maybe like what the name of it is, that can make it easier to reinforce that and be more aware of what's going on. Like you can be it's just going to take practice ultimately though.
So what you're saying is that people should join the Discord server and enjoy hanging out with the rest of the community and enjoy some awesome spoiler stuff.
Yeah, well, we don't cheat a whole lot. I mean, we don't. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't. I'm trying to multitask. Anyway, we don't bite a whole lot. That's what I meant to say.
That was one heck of Freudian slip there, buddy.
Yeah. Nobody heard any of that. Anyway, so back to the race here. Cheamo is going to go ahead and work on Mothula here. With that tempered sword, it's actually not going to be too bad of a fight. Maybe has 2 or 3 fire rod shots. But otherwise, tempered sword, it's going to get... Whoa.
Good. Goodness gracious. All right. So
that was a very fastly executed Mothula.
yeah, I'm still not 100% on what that maneuver is, other than just magic. But if you've got a good idea of how to explain it, would you do the honors? Because I have no clue.
I actually don't know what happened there. Somebody in
Okay.
chat's probably smarter than me. That'll probably tell us.
Alright, so in layman's terms, he dashed at it a lot and it died. But yeah, that kind of cool trick is just awesome. And I think even though it took him a little bit of time running over and grabbing that tempered sword first, it's probably going to help him in the long run. Because, yeah, that moth fight was just phenomenal. Ooh, picking up another safety. I like it. And red meringue, of course, because it's the better boomerang. But also for raisins.
Now it's time for Desert Palace.
Ooh, this is our other 5-6 crystal. Intriguing. Kind of makes me think that we got something over in the Pyramid Fairy. And as you see on Tabbycat's side, this is Mothula being Mothula.
Yeah, go ahead and use a potion. All right.
Ooh, yeah, it's kind of sweating a little bit there.
There we go. And Mothula is down.
Ta-da! And there we go, we're back to being tied up for items. Although, it doesn't look like there was anything noticeable in Desert other than the big key. So Cheamo's gonna run over and say hello to some moles. Or worms? What would you call Landmo? Other than annoying, of course.
Landmolas?
Yeah, is he like a giant worm? Is he a caterpillar? Is he some kind of weird mole that has no arms? Or teeth? Or fur?
I honestly wouldn't know. It's a boss in a dungeon that we get to kill.
Very
All
annoying.
right, yeah, Tabby. Yeah. Tabby realizing that I need to get the mitts first.
And we'll be happy to find that wonderful tempered sword.
Won't be too big of a deal here.
Speaking of tempered sword, those bugs did not stand a chance. Cheamo took down all three and they're dead.
That's gonna be crystal number 3.
My goodness, 22 minutes in, and we're almost halfway through. The joys
That,
of spoiler.
yeah, I mean that's just the nature of these races. They run by really fast. So Chemo's going back into desert. There must be something here that he needs.
Yeah, did he skip a chest? Oh, yeah, I think he did. Yeah, you kind of need
Uh,
those.
all right, yeah. I mean, Swamp Palace is in fact a crystal. So, and there's our Bombos medallion that is required.
Ah, very nice. And thankfully, as you guys can see there, since we have access to that spoiler log, we already know what dungeons are what without these guys even opening the map, so Bombos is the only medallion we need.
Looks like Chemo is crystal number 4. He's aiming for Misery Mire.
Ooh, that's a
And
butter sword.
now, what is Tabby doing?
Yeah, this is intriguing because Chemo passed up on butter, an easy butter. And not going to hookshot. He's skipping something else. Let's see.
All right, so okay, there's that.
Ooh. Oh, I see. Okay, so red
All right.
mail and another bottle.
Spending a little bit more time to get that red mail and an extra bottle. That seems good. And
So,
it's gonna go ahead and do Tower Hero right now.
kind of intriguing, seeing as how we don't have to do Turtle Rock. I'm wondering why she didn't save this for last. Maybe she just
Yeah.
didn't really want to do Vitreous Master Sword, which I don't blame her.
All right. Lining up the Hero pot. And
Yep, gotta get that pause buffer just right. Oof, didn't get it, but taking the wise idea to do something. Oh, that's right, she actually needs the big key to go up. Well, now she's got it. Yay! Meanwhile, over on the left side of the screen, Chemo just blowing through Misery Mire. I did not see anything else of value in there, and judging from what we're lacking, we're only needing a bow for the mimics up in GT, so yeah, we're pretty much in go mode for him. Now this room right here, oh, I'm so glad he was able to get it. That is such a pain in the butt to do in the dark. So, kudos to Chemo.
one more dark room to do. He's gonna use the cape here to kind of mitigate some of this. Only has 5, so he has 5 hearts, but a lot of the stuff in that room are not actual enemies, and instead things that do exactly 1 heart of damage no matter what, making that blue mail like not useful at all.
Yeah, it kind of sucks when, you always get 1 heart of damage. Not that bad when you have 20 hearts, but terrible when you've got virtually nothing.
All right. And Tabby taking the crystal out of Tower Heron.
Probably going over to number 6 to follow up in Chemo's footsteps. Oh, no. Looks like she's heading over to ice. She possibly forgot that she didn't have flippers, but thankfully, fake flipper does exist.
Yep. So now Chemo is doing these dash strats I was talking about earlier, but is out of magic. So now needs to do spins, but doesn't have a whole lot of health.
Ooh,
That's
that
unfortunate.
sucks.
Yeah. It happens. Spiller races, they're rough. Like he's on 5 hearts, right? He
Mm-hmm.
only had maybe a quarter of his magic meter left from navigating that dark room. So it kind of makes sense. Like it's not big deal. Runners are allowed to watch the restream, and they're also allowed to watch each other stream.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are, and some runners don't choose to do this, but some do, and the ones who do, what they can do is they can take a look at their opponent, and they're going to be like, all right, well, what is my position compared to my opponent? You know, how well am I doing? You know, how bad, like, how safe do I need to play it? So Chemo can easily be making those calculations right now. Same thing with Tabbycat. Tabbycat could be taking a look at Chemo, and she could be like, okay, all right, this is the position I'm in. This is how aggressive or safe I need to play. And you always kind of making those adjustments in your play as you're going through. That's what some players do. Some others, they don't. They just focus on their own race. They don't worry about their opponent. They're both perfectly valid strategies. All right, so Tabby is going to do a little of the breaking a little bit of the ice here.
Just doing a little bit of a dance for us.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And there
that
we
was a
go.
nice
Slides. Yeah, slides right through that barrier and is out of there.
I gotta commend Cheamo for going back in there, because I gotta say, at this point, I would have just gone searching for that lamp. 5 hearts, you couldn't pay me to try and get through this area without that.
I mean, speaking of safety,
Oh, there you go. Okay, that explains why Tabbycat would want to go ahead and do this place first. Having that half magic makes a world of difference. Oof, Chemo's got to be real careful getting through here. He's only got 1 heart. That is going to be a tough fight. Okay, good. He's got 2 hearts. He's fine.
you could take. All right, sneaks by. Has a little bit more magic to do work on these vidis. Can get
Very nicely timed.
now. It's got him weakened a little bit here, so getting spins off on the rest of him won't be too bad. And on Tabby's side, Tabby gets him right in the corner there in cold stare. Just kind of pins him down, destroys those eyeballs, and claims a crystal.
My favorite method of dealing with that boss. Bully him into a corner and just flail like crazy.
All right, now just some more slashes here.
You can do it, Cheamo. You got 5 hearts, buddy. Noise.
Now, all right, so now Tabby is going for Meyer. And Desert.
And there's our bombos. So once Tabbycat grabs them flips, she will also be in that pseudo go mode.
Honestly, I kind of like that play of grabbing that half magic.
Oh yeah, that's my number 1 safety item. I will readily admit to.
Now I think powder is pretty high up there. So like there's like this tier list or so for your safeties. One is your armor, specifically blue mail at least. The next is having a third sword, having tempered. Also a S tier or a high level tiered safety is going to be your half magic and powder. Hearts are kind of below that. Your armor is going to be more important than hearts. At least to a point. But yeah, half magic can really help you out, especially like in situations where you don't have access to silvers or you're going to be needing to use a lot of magic. All right. So Cheamo is going to go into Swamp Palace.
Our wonderful swamp. Oh wow, I just noticed Tabbycat's got a good 2 hearts on Cheamo there. That is the plus of picking up all those pieces. They stack up.
Yeah, half magic kind of lets you use the fire rod as like a machine gun, basically. It's like that's my best way of explaining it.
Oof, that was a
You can just
quick
do a
fight.
lot of damage.
Heck yeah.
We're gonna get a blanket and you miss it swamp palace from the looks of it.
Yep. And since we're probably not going to see it, if for those of you that want to know where the lamp is, it really wasn't a dumb location. It was West Side Swamp.
Yeah, I don't think either of our runners are going for it. And all right, Chemo is now making that Ice Palace play. And Tabby is going to be finishing up Misery Mire. From here, they're both pretty much right now. They're both 2 crystals away. So this really could be anybody's race at the moment. And he's in the 3rd dark room. In that area with the spike. Using the cape just a little bit to bypass that. And then Mario to hit the switch. There you go. Yeah, that. You're right. That lamp. Just spoiler races like your dark room execution is even more important in spoiler races than I would say in like a normal race. Just because the odds of you getting the lamp are even smaller. Like you're only gonna grab it if it's absolutely necessary, or it's literally along your route. Like if you need it as a fire source, clearly you have to get it. But otherwise, yeah, it's gonna get skipped unless you need it. We're also see some dash strats. Tabby having half magic, so it's gonna just be able to melt those eyeballs. And then also, when you slash your sword, your magic drain doesn't happen during a sword slash. So if you keep spamming your sword slashes against the eyeballs or against Vitreous's eye, while still in the goo with the cape on, you get to extend your magic usage, and then the half magic adds on top of that magic usage. All right. Cheamo is also going to be fighting Cold Stare.
Dang, gone for 4 minutes and woof. So much has happened.
And be careful. All right. All right, there we go. All right, we're good. We good. There's a little bit of containment problem, but he makes it. And there is that crystal. So the difference right now is Tabby has to do basically a go mode swap palace. Cheamo skipped Tower of Hera earlier, so he's going to have to do that, but that's also going to probably be pretty quick because of Hera Pot.
Yeah, if he gets first try Hera Pot, then that's going to be like a 40-second Tower of Hera. That's going to be uber quick.
Yeah.
It really boils down to, at this point, how well they execute Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that could definitely be the difference maker here. So Cheamo basically saved himself a second trip up the mountain, essentially. Or a third.
That
I've
is
been keeping track.
darn good routing.
Yeah, so getting over into this area can be pretty time consuming. I would say it's probably, even with like boots and flute, probably going up Death Mountain is probably the most expensive in the overworld. That and maybe Zora's Domain, but Zora's Domain with boots and flute isn't that bad.
Yeah, that is true.
Whereas pretty much you are doing a whole bunch of stuff to get here.
Ooh, we're gonna get ourselves a diver down over on Tabbycat's side.
Diver down.
That was a really good album.
And there we go.
Also a super clean setup. Nice.
So, for those who maybe just joining us, haven't seen that glitch before, how that works is you basically jump off onto the lower layer in a spot where the game isn't expecting it. So you notice that she clipped into the rail and then jumped down. There's actually only water tiles basically at where the stairwell goes down, where you would hop into the water normally, and there isn't water tiles elsewhere. So if you splash, so basically if you jump off in a spot where the water tiles are not at, the game just thinks that you're on the lower floor as if the water was drained, and then you can just do things.
Shenanigans.
Yep. And Cheamo cleans up Moldorm, claiming crystal number 7 and access to Ganon's tower.
And just in time for Tabbycat to go ahead and finish up. Unfortunately for her, she still has a mountain to climb where Cheamo just mirrors back and bada bang, bada boom.
So, where does everybody think the big key is at? We already getting kind of a hint from Cheamo about where the big key is at. We're also missing something. We're missing a bow.
I have
We
not
kind of
actually
forgot.
checked that.
Yeah, we don't have a bow yet. So we're gonna have to find one. Or is Cheamo going to be doing the mimic clip?
If only there's a way we could do a big key guessing game without numbers. But
Yeah,
like
I'm
guess
not writing
positions.
that.
But you're so wise.
Uh,
You could do
my
it.
wisdom is overrated sometimes. Anyway, Cheamo is working his way to randomizer room. Has also the fire snake room first.
Gotta get them keys, boy.
Got a key. He's gonna go into randomizer room. Now, Tabby is also now going into Tower of Hera, Ganon's Tower here. The difference is Tabby does not have to do Tower of Hera because that was already completed. Cheamo ninjaing the bow.
Hmm. And another heart, so we are even with hearts. Or, no, he's got one more. He's got 8.
Yeah, we were even in hearts. And I suspect
Nice.
that Tabby will probably grab the same one.
Ooh, are we gonna get a vanilla big key? Please tell me we do. I would be so happy. Oh.
And there's our key. Alright, so Cheamo is hopping up here at about the 47-minute mark.
So yeah, even though it is still down to execution, this is still... Well, pretty much either one can win. Cheamo's got a demanding lead, though. Demanding? Commanding? Something about that. And we start the gauntlet 48 minutes in. See how quick he can go through. Yep, there is our 10th heart and our bow.
Cheamo is through the final room of the gauntlet. Gonna go ahead, probably light up Landmo. You don't want to use too many fire rod shots here because you're gonna want your magic for later, but still can really speed that up with a 2-cycle Landmo. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a quick 2-cycle. Alright, so Cheamo's basically got a good minute and a half on Tabbycat. finishing up the gauntlet climb almost to Moldorm 2, while Tabbycat is just barely starting it.
Light our 4 torches.
Yeah, I think that's enough magic. You don't have to worry about stealing the pot. But he's going to do it for safety.
Yeah. Like with half magic, yeah, you would have had enough magic, but it's no big deal.
Tabbycat's got to be uber careful. She is losing hearts quick. Ah, dang Beamos.
Alright, as blue potion. That's good. One more to go here.
And Troldorm is down.
Alright. No time for that chest. We can't have any of the checking of that chest.
Nope. Leave those poor orphans their chest.
Did you just call Moldorm an orphan?
No, it's children.
Oh,
Killed
it's children?
Mama and Papa Moldorm.
Oh my. Alright. I forgot I said anything. Alright. That was a pretty well lined up Aga shot there. I'm not sure how many that counted for. It could have been 1 to 3.
Yeah, that was my question. I have no idea how many times he got hit there. Alright, I think that was a 2-1-2-1?
That's what it feels like.
Ah, there we
Yeah,
go.
that
1-2-1-2.
Yeah.
It was
So
4 things.
we had a question chat. Where was the other bow at? That was an Eastern Palace. Or no, not Eastern Palace. No, it was Pod.
Oh, okay,
I'm bad,
cool.
bad. Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah,
It was
no one wants to go to
Stalfos
Pending
basement.
Pod.
It's like, yeah, Pod was just a dungeon that we weren't going to see today. We weren't really going to see Eastern either.
I guess that's the plus of having the spoiler kind of set things in such a way that you don't have to worry about going to nonsensical locations.
Like, if this was being played...
Ooh.
He's alright, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's only like 30 seconds.
Yeah. It was early in the fight. We good. Do this again. It's kind of what you're having to think in this situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ugh, that dang was robe just being super rude.
And he's going to use that that's a good call probably at this point.
Oh yeah.
He did have cape, so he could have used cape as well to burn through that magic meter to get more shots off. But yeah, this works too.
We'll just have to tease him when we get in here for the interview.
But yeah, he's out of... So he's going to have to do some tempered spins here. It is going to be... No!
Oof. That stinks.
And he burned both potions. This isn't good. We,
Well, he's back in the biz. Thankfully, he should know that he's still got a lead. Just this is the part where it can get really tricky. You just gotta stop and breathe. Better to take an extra turn or so fighting Ganon in, phase 1 or 2, then to die and start all over again. Tabbycat, I don't know if that was muscle memory or not, but thank you. We needed that arrow.
Checking the chest.
Ooh, that bat.
Yeah.
All right, that bat
Oh.
is a pain because A, it was off screen, and B, it's evil.
Yeah. So, Cheamo, if you're listening right now, breathe, relax, concentrate. You got this. We believe.
We believe in Steve.
Tabby is low on health. Has to be a little careful here. But has Aga 2 down.
There you go, buddy.
Now,
Use that cape.
yep. Like, you don't want to use all of that magic because you're going to need that for phase 4 because you don't have lamp. So you can't conserve magic.
Tempered sword is going to make it a piece of cake, though.
All right, so I think Tabby's going to go for probably, yeah. All right, so now we're in spin mode.
So wait, was that fixed? Does he now tell you where the silvers are?
Yeah, it's fixed in the item randomizer. Entrance is still backwards. We'll get it fixed someday.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's gonna be 12 tempered spins.
And we're at 6 now? Or was that 4?
I haven't been counting. I'm bad.
Alright, now I'm going to just say we're at 6. Oh no, that was a 3. That was nice.
Be careful.
Ah,
And
nice.
there we go.
Slap them GGs in chat for Cheamo. Pulling off an awesome win with a sub 1 hour seed. Actually, that begs the question, do we count the 15 minutes prep time in the end time, or do we just go off of...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll just say it's a sub 1 hour, because they deserve it.
Yeah. All right, now Tabby's also now working on Ganon. Has red mail. This will be a little easier of a fight. Also has gold sword. And we're gonna see if we can get Cheamo in here for an interview if he's up for it.
Tabby just going to town on that pig. Oof.
Yeah, it's just the power of gold sword, right? You can really get through phases 1 and 2 really quick. It's only 6 slashes per.
Good job getting that torch glitch. Whoops. A little early on the spin there.
Not terrible. And
I think that is our 3rd hit. And I want to say she picked up 2 blue potions in the store, so she should be fine with magic. Alright, I think that is 9. There's 10. Ooh,
Don't
gotta be
get warped
careful.
on. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 11. Now she's got 12. That's awesome. Also slap them GGs in chat for Tabbycat54. Who also is getting a sub 1 hour. That is phenomenal.
What a jet seed. This is great.
That was nice.
Do you like that bow placement?
Oh god. Cynic, did you write that?
That was actually, so that was one for so the spoiler tournament last year. That was one of the Triforce texts that we had available because we had a fork of the site going. And that one just kind of, it was one of the few that we brought over into the main line, the upstream build of the randomizer site.
That is too good.
Because usually like the bow trolls you, right? So may as well the odds of it probably being applicable are fairly high, so why not, right?
Hey, exactly.
All right, let's see if we can get both of our runners in here for an interview. We do have Tabbycat in here. GG Tabbycat.
GG's.
All right. Do you like that bow placement?
Yeah, I was like, do I want to go to pod or do I want to go to GT? And then at the end of it, I was like, I think GT is going to be faster, and there's so many hearts that I can grab on the way. And then I realized that is exactly why I lost. Hey, look, it's a heart. It's another heart. It's a heart. It's a heart. I could get all the hearts now.
Hey, you know what? You both had sub 1 hour times this seed. Now that's pretty good. Yes.
It's 10 minutes faster than my fastest ever spoiler seed. So I'm pretty happy even though I lost.
And see, there you go. That's what it's all about, right?
My fastest before this was 110. So I was very pleased with pretty much everything I did in that seed. It doesn't even matter.
We're also joined by Cheamo. GG.
GG's. Thanks.
All right. Did you like that bow placement?
Yeah, no, it was cool. I actually didn't realize it till I was actually running the seed that I didn't need to go to pod for the bow. And I was like, oh wait, I should probably just skip that. And then I was like, maybe I should have got gold sword. It was pretty fast.
Yeah, I grabbed gold sword. I was tempted to go grab silvers, and I was like, I don't know when I can route this in. It just doesn't make sense to route it in. And lamp placement was disgusting too. So I was like, Dark Mire, yay!
Yeah, you pretty much had to skip lamp, although I did mire twice anyways, so it was pretty much a waste.
Just when I saw the lamp placement, I just was like, really? I don't want to. I don't know how to do the other diver down. I know how to do like the main one, but I don't know how to do the one to get to left side swamp. So I'm like, how much do I want that?
That's fair.
Yeah, the one thing about that bow is it was right on the way to the big key-ish. Like, it was just a small divergence. If it had been there and the big key had been in, like, Hope Room or something, then it's, like, a totally different story.
No, yeah. I would have gone to pod immediately and then just got all those delicious hearts. Had to have all the hearts. But I thought the seed was pretty. Actually, like, I think if we had this in an actual seed, I think that, like, not a non-spoiler, basically, that bow would have definitely been what everybody was looking for.
Yeah, it was this close to being a mimic clip seed, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, so this was round 1. You got 6 more weeks to go. Looking forward to round 2 then, or now that you've done one, you changing your mind? I don't know.
I thought it was fun. This is something to definitely push my execution to learn different tricks. Trying to get better in general, and it's a fun mode. So there.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. There's a lot going on right now, so I would barely have been practicing this mode. It's cross keys and Zooter co-op and all sorts of nonsense right now, so that's part of the problem. But are these best of 3? I see on SG3 they've got the.
So no, the Swiss stage, no. It is 1 per week.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, there's just something weird going on there. They're figuring out why those are coming back. We thought we had them killed. It's not a big deal. It's not until the brackets that we have a best of 3 format.
Cool.
This definitely was. I never actually done anything other than League when it comes to tournaments, so it's like this is a fun experience.
Nice. So I'm guessing you're fairly new to the randomizer in general. When do you start playing? When do you start racing it? Just kind of curious.
It's probably June, I think, of last year.
Okay.
I really didn't get too serious into it for a while. Just mainly playing with Scruff, so he could have practice for races. That was like my job. Then I was like, hey, I think I actually like this. And then I started actually getting, trying to get better rather than just being like, I'm just going to lose. It's fine anyway.
That's how everything starts off with, right? But, it's just these are all just practice. That's what it boils down to. So I think you did a pretty great job this race. This was, there were a few things that kind of made it a little tricky. That lamp location was also pretty terrible. Like that wasn't happening. Yeah.
I was not a fan.
Yeah, that's a few minutes, so there's even safeties you'd get before you did that, like go get another bottle of potion or something.
Yeah, I intentionally got the blue goo, and I was like, I don't need lamp. I got blue goo, 7 hearts, red mail, and cape. I'm fine.
Yeah, I should have done ice before Meyer. I realized after and got that half magic would have made Vidi free. Instead I died, which was unfortunate.
I forgot that I didn't have flippers. I was like, wait, why? And then I forgot I had flute really early on too. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go fake flip up to Witch's Hut. And then I was like, and then I pushed the start button, and I'm like, oh. I have flute. I knew that the whole time. I was just showing off.
Happens to the best of us. It's it can be kind of easy to forget that you have an item when you're routing, right? That can save you time. Happens. Like every seed's a new experience, so yeah.
I'm just gonna say that collection rate on like wow.
57 and 54. Yeah, these races are going to be like that. You're not going to be grabbing a whole lot.
No.
So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Let me refresh the schedule. We have more Spiller races here tonight. We've got right now, 10 minutes ago, this one started on SpeedGaming 2. We had Kern. We had Cloprower and Superman Taylor on SpeedGaming 2. Kern and Walther, Kern being another admin on this tournament, is commentating that one. And then we have Amarith, it's Amarith, and Ricky Kokiri on SpeedGaming 5 here in an hour, along with Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. You got a race tonight, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got your race against Pika Pals. That'll be on SpeedGaming 4. And then on SpeedGaming 1 tonight, we're going to have Yoinker's wife, I think I said that correctly. And then Canadian Major racing each other. We don't have comp for that one yet. We're working on that one, but we will get it broadcasted one way or another.
That's alright. I'll try and make sure my seed with Pika Pals is super quick, and then I'll calm the other one. It'll be great.
I don't think that's how that works. You're gonna... I'm joking, by the way. That's like an hour. Yeah, I can see... No, the sub 50 it. Easy, right?
There you go, yeah. Easy
Yeah.
peasy. Easy
Just sub
peasy,
50
lemon
it.
squeezy. Pika's
Sub
gonna get a
50
win
it.
off of me anyway.
Skip the interview. Hey, you know what? It's all about the journey, right? So...
Exactly.
Alright. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Cheamo and Tabbycat, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
GG's. Just it was a fun race, and look forward to more.
Yeah, GG's. Thanks for coming and putting on the restream.
Awesome. Alright. We were going to go ahead and call this right now. Everybody go to SpeedGaming. SpeedGaming 2 is where you want to go. Turn that 3 into a 2 in your browser. And go and check out the race between Chloe Prower and Super and Taylor. Anyway, for this evening, I've been Sinak, and I've been joined by...
Mr. Scruff and Ninja Tuna.
have a good night.
Bye, everybody.